Security Halt podcast is proudly sponsored by Titans Arms. Head to the episode description and check out Titans Arms today. Yeah, man, it's gonna be a good one, dude. You got an amazing personal story, and we'll dive into that from the start, man. TJ, welcome to the show, dude. You're a member of our Red Empire family with a remarkable story. I think the stereotype is that anybody that speaks Spanish is automatically goes to seventh group, but it's once you get down to the real truth, you see that there are so many remarkable individuals from every walk of life. But man, like, your story is truly unique. So today, my man, we're gonna dive into it.
Appreciate it, man. Like I say, thanks again for this opportunity and everything you do. For all the soldiers member, right? Got the opportunity to share a little bit about the background, who they are, and stuff and things like that. So about me, Jan, the jungle boy. I literally grew up in the jungles of Panama back in the days. Coming from adoption, I would have to say this is actually for me a first opportunity to talk about myself, my transition from the civilian life to the military experience. And thanks for this great opportunity.
Before we get too deep, if you can move a little bit to your right, that way you're centered on the screen. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there we go. Sorry. There we go. Sorry. There we go. Now we're doing
there good. We go. Look good.
Man, I'm destroying everything here, man. There we go. Now we're good.
There we go.
Like I say, it's a little tough sometimes talk about this kind of stuff, but me, I'm coming from Panama, I'm coming from adoption. My real parents, they walk away. My dad walked away 3 years old. And then I was raised by a Panamanian family, I remember when I started growing up in that family, being, light skin color from Colon, Panama, when everybody's dark color, Hey, that was a boxing every day in the school, fighting papers for life type of deal. I was bullying all the time. People harassing me when I was a kid, all that kind of stuff. But in my family, the thing is, when we're talking about skin color, everybody was different. That's the beauty of my family. You got the black, you got the one that look like a Chinese, you got my white mom, kind of stuff.
And people don't understand how much of a cultural mixing pot Panama really is, man. People don't understand. Within your own family, you can have varies in color, light skin, and if you have darker relatives, chances are your grandparents are going to favor the light skinned relatives. Like, it's insane. It's insane, man.
It's insane, man. Like I said, I grew up in Panama from Colon City. My dad, he used to work in the field. I remember I was about 6-7 years old when I got my first machete, and my dad took me to a little finca, right on to the land, to work the land. So I didn't start working the land since I was a kid. Years passed by, and then when I grew up, I started, planting the corn, getting the corn, mill the corn, making the Panamanian tamales. I take it to the market. I was selling the bucket of tamales, sitting, and after everything was sold, grab my bucket, give it to the friend, and then go straight to university.
Wow.
Just trying to do something, back in the days. But I'm grateful for that type of life, And I always say, man, life was a struggle in the beginning. We got dirt floor, small rooms, everybody sleeping in the same room type of deal. I remember my husband, my brothers and I, we always make a joke. We know when my dad was a paycheck for my dad, because that was the day that we got noodles and meat. Spaghetti con carne, man. That is like, oh, we got meat. That's a payday, man. We know it's a payday. It's meat on the table. More than that, I used to go to fish, like all that kind of stuff. And then years passed by, man. Now we got the Joe Scouts. We have, I live on the General Noriega regime.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of friends, they got killed. Got a bunch of friends that disappeared. When I was in high school, I remember the students used to go to the street to do the protest against the government. Hey, by the way, when I'm talking, English is my third language. So, yeah, I got that still Latino accent, man,
It's perfect, TJ. It's fucking perfect, man. It's funny. I was a little kid in that time frame in Panama. I was still like 5 years old in that very chaotic period in time. The Noriega regime and the American response with Operation Just Cause. I only remember bits and pieces, and we were in Panama City proper during the initial engagement What was it like on the ground as an older kid? You're seeing this happen and experiencing it firsthand.
Yeah. So for me, because I was not living in the city, I was away from the city, right? I remember I was sleeping and my mom woke me up like, hey, United States attacking. Like, what? Yeah. So we come outside to the ground, to the field, to the front yard, and we see the airplanes. By then we call it La Vaca, the cow. That was a C-130. That's a nickname we used to call it because it was so huge in the air. Like, oh, look at it, look like a cow. So the nickname was La Vaca, like, hey, no, the vaca's flying around. But you can see it, bullets coming down, choo, 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 and the noise and stuff like that. And I ran away from the city, right? I was like, oh my God. But at the same time, everybody was celebrating, you know, because the regime was over. When I was in high school, man, one day we walking on the streets and the students are doing riots. A bunch of students are running, and we look around and we got, they call it the governments. The government was like the riot control for the General Noriega, right? And they coming straight to us. So we start running. I jump inside the church. And inside the church, these guys turn around by the door and they start shooting inside the doors to the students. Nobody got hit, thanks to God, but you can see how they destroyed the altar and everything. So that's the time that we used to live when I was there, right? And of course, all the riots, all the people disappearing, all the deaths. And then when we saw that, we was like, man, it's happening. So we expected, okay, let's see what's happening next day, right? So next day, myself, I went to my little barrio, with my friends, see what's going on. And I remember we got a hill and it's a river. It's a huge river. My river used to be one of the main rivers to the Panama Canal. So I used to paddle a lot, like 4 hours downstream just to go to
Damn.
the lake to fish. Well, yeah, it was about 6 hours, against the current, against the stream. But we are at this hill, man, when we can see that and we hear a noise. And when we talk around, we see this Air Force airplane, man, coming really fast. And then they just flip upside down. And when he passing by, he gave it the thumbs up. And, by then I was about 16 years old. So then I was like, oh yeah, just celebrating all that kind of stuff. Then in my battle, we got the Black Hawk came down. And you see the guys kicking the MREs, throwing the MREs on the floor, everybody grabbing. And, the kids you can see, they got the heaters up and trying to eat the heaters and stuff because we don't know. We got all that kind of stuff, right? So, and then we got the home bees passing by. And then one of my friends showed to the boss. I was like, hey, come on, we got to go get some stuff. So we go down city. Down city pretty much. Everything there was, the police stations was completely destroyed. They actually got hit really, really hard. But all the criminal activities in the main cities, they start trying to take control of the cities, and that was the biggest problems for us. All the merchandise, all the stores were actually broke. Everybody was stealing everything, all that kind of things, right? They passed by, and crazy story, man. Me and my friends were sitting in the bus stop, and I remember we see the Humvees. I didn't know the Humvees with a bunch of soldiers and stuff in the cities and start talking to the little primas, and the chicas and stuff like that. And we start getting jealous because that was our girlfriend. But at the same time, we celebrated, right? And we got the freedom. So about 4 days after that, I went to my finca because I was working on my land. And I remember hear a lot of noises. And then I just hide in the bush. And I can see a bunch of military from the General Noriega running
Mhm.
away from the actually U.S. forces up the street, right? So I had to hide because when that happens, man, these guys start going in the main roads and they start killing people, stealing cars, doing all kind of stuff just to run away from the Americans. And then they were blaming the Americans. The Americans were doing all these bad things in the ground, which actually was not true, and everybody knows that. Well, the people that knew there, we know what wasn't true. But I tell you, man, I was so scared hiding in the bush when I saw this guy with all the weapons and stuff passing by. Man, I don't make any noise, man. Just let these guys. As soon as that happens, I start running, going back to my house, talk to my family, talk to my friends, and everybody just on alert on the neighborhood. 2 days later, after that, we sit on the bus stop, and I talked to my boys, like, you know what? That would be good if one day I can do one of those guys, man. I always was a dreamer since I was a kid. Trying to be one of that guys, do something for whatever, right? Short story, man. I remember I came to the United States. So just cause happened, right? About everything happens pretty much about 6 months after that. Somebody come to my mom's house and knock my mom's house, like, hey, Like, yes, Cristo, because that was my nickname, because my first name is Jristos in Greek, and in Spanish means Cristo, in English, Christ. It's Cristo. Like, hey, Cristo is here. Like, yeah, like, your mom is looking for you. Like, oh, what do you mean my mom? My mom died years ago, right? Because the story is because my mom gave me to one of her friends.
Mm.
And her friends, man, she treated me like trash. I was about 3 or 4 years old. She beat me every day. She used to have a older son, send it to me to fight, fighting with me every day, type of stuff. And I remember that day we got a old lady used to work for that woman, right? And she told us, like, hey, you don't want this kid, you can give me to me. She's like, I'll take it. I don't want it. And that lady became my grandma. She gave me to her son. She actually was a teacher in elementary school, and he became my dad. So I was really good in school thanks to him, and I'm really proud of my Panamanian roots. I'm really proud of my Panamanian family. I had to say this because I know maybe some of them is going to see this, and I had to say, I am who I am today thanks to them. Because justice was not achieved when I went to the TV show. We'll talk about that now. When that lady come to the house and I can say that my mother is looking for me, so I was in shock because for me, she was already dead. So finally, after a couple of weeks, I got a first phone call. After actually 21 years of my life, right? I was 21 when she showed up, right? In my life.
21.
21, right? And she got the phone and we talk, cries, tears, all that kind of stuff. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to help you, My mom in Panama, actually the one that raised me, she's like, hey, we never change your last name. We never change your name, right? Because you have the right to know where you're coming from. If that's your want, that's what you desire, hey, take advantage of that. So I talked to them, to my mother in Panama, her name Nikki, or Michelle, sorry, Michelle. And I talked to Michelle and I say, okay, I was trying to go to America, trying to be somebody, right? She's like, oh, okay, I'm going to help you. The reason that happened is because she got a lot of connections with Telemundo back then. In 1994, she got a lot of connections with Telemundo. And Telemundo reached back to me. By then, I was in the university and I was working as a security guard. Because, man, in Panama, I did everything from black marketeer, working the land, security, janitor, you name it, man. My first job, I got a tray full of fruit. Vendo, fruta, in the street, screaming in the battery and stuff, man. Man, I used to do all kinds of crazy stuff.
You're a street entrepreneur, man.
That's it, man. And anyway, so the opportunity showed up and they told me like, hey, we're looking for you because we want to do a TV show in Telemundo with Setbacks. Setbacks was a TV show back in the days in Telemundo when parents can meet actually kids. The kids that never been before. I was like, oh yeah, great. So they arranged everything for me. The visa, the passport, the flight ticket and everything. And actually I was able to go to the TV show. So here I am in 1994, June 1994, in Telemundo, ready to be in the show, right? And I am backstage listening to stories of Michelle, right? Michelle's like, yeah, I gave my kid to a friend. Her friend used to have a maid, and the maid stole, kidnapping that kid away from me. And my kid was stolen, and I never saw my kid away. So I am backstage like, that's BS, man. That's a bunch of lies. That's not actually true. And I remember I talked to the producer, like, I want to be in that show. She's like, what? That's lies. That's not true, And then I remember the producer told me, like, hey, what you got, Pan? She's like, well, nothing. I was trying to survive pretty much. She's like, well, you're already here. Just take the opportunity and just flow with the flow. Right? I was okay, I do that. So I show up in the show, right? Tears, everything. I told my story, all that kind of stuff. Man, when that story came in the air, pretty much the story, the set was everything she said. Because, they edit everything, right? So my family in Panama got hurt because they got labeled as the bad people, the bad person, when actually they're not. I was alive and I am who I am now, thanks to them. And that's what I told you guys, that this is a good opportunity for me because they deserve that respect. They deserve, to know about that. And to know that the bad person was the one that actually gave me birth. Because I met her in June 1994. In November 1994, I ran away from her house.
Damn.
She was trying to send them back to Panama. She said she hated the family in Panama. All kind of things that I couldn't handle. It's like, I know I came here to become somebody. I run away from that, man. From then, that's a lot of other crazy stories.
Damn, man. Yeah, that is. Let's pause on that, man. Like that's manipulation. That person just wanted to be on a TV show. That's the only reason why she reached back out.
Well, the thing is, she was already known on the TV show. She used to be a friend of Christina. Remember Christina's show?
Yeah.
Yeah, she used to be a friend of him because Michelle, she worked in the church, right? And she was a minister of the church. And she make a lot of exorcism. So that's why she was really popular for that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
I respect.
There was a lot of
respect
TV
all the
shows at that
religions.
time frame
Yeah.
covering that
I
stuff in
respect all the
Telemundo
religions,
and
all that kind of stuff. But she used me as a, ¿cómo se dice el hijo pródigo in the Bible? The prodigal son,
yeah, prodigal son. Yeah.
all the way from California to Washington State. We stopped in so many churches. And I was the son that was away and came back. She exploited that on me. And of course, I tell you, man, the way I compare myself, even when I joined the army at 27, is coming from Panama with 27 in the army. A kid that was graduating from the high school got more street smart or more life in the American than I. For me, I was completely lost, right? Everything for me was new in this big country and the big freaking country, right? But I learned from that, man. She was actually manipulating. She was actually using me. And so I had to run away from her house. One of those days, man, I got caught by La Migra, the famous eyes back in the days. I was in California picking on oranges, man. So me and my boys, my Mexican boys, we are in the van and we drive it and we got caught and they put me in jail. I said, what's your name? Pedro Jimenez, senor. Okay, where you from? I am from the DF. So I changed my accent to completely Mexican. Level 3 by nature, man. I'm level 3 by nature, I'll tell you what. By nature, the guy said, okay, we're going to send you to Mexico. I was like, órale, carnal. I went through an entire lingo, right? So here I am waiting my boss to go to Mexico. My boss like, hey, don't worry, man. We're crossing Mexico. Tomorrow I'll be back here, man. No worry. It's in 94, right? But then I was like, damn, if I go in there, I'm illegal over there too. It's like, I don't have nothing down there. They got to figure out where I'm coming from. Right? So I told the guy, like, hey, come here. Like, what? This is the truth. This is who I am. I came for a TV show. This is what happened. This is what's going on. The guy like, what? Why you lie to me? What do you expect, bro? I'm not scared, right? I came here to make a dream. You tried to kill my dream, right? I told him straight up. So they called. They're like, okay, we got to call Michelle. So they called Michelle and they came back. And she's like, hey, is she a witch? Okay, what? No, because don't answer the phone, but we got the answer machine. And she sounds like she's one of the 800 numbers. Like, yeah, I can predict the future type of deal. I was like, well, pretty much, man. Pretty much, So, well, they let me go. They let me go in Bakersfield, California with 25 cents in my pocket about 9 o'clock in the morning, close to a Greyhound stage. I remember that day, that 25 cents, I make a phone call. I don't know if you guys know, but back then we used to have payphones.
1-800 call collect.
Exactly, right? So I memorized one of the guy's numbers and I called in and he said, he used to live in Fresno. I am in Bakersfield. And he said, yeah, I can pick you up, but it's going to be like 8, 9 o'clock in the night. So I said, okay, no problem, man. So I still got the clothes. I was ready to go to the field, right? To pick it up the oranges in Bakersfield. Walk the streets back and down in the Greyhound. Finally, I sit down in a place close to a McDonald's place. I remember these people came outside the McDonald's because I was sitting outside and they gave it to me because they thought I was humble. I was homeless, right? So they give me the food, man. I got tear in my eyes. It's like, well, this is what it is. My mom, she always told me, al país que fuese, hacer lo que viniese. So pretty much wherever you go, man, you have to do whatever it takes, right? So that's me, man, just down there with a sad face, eating my burger, man, in the middle of the street, thinking about everything I went through, the life I used to Panama, the dream, because when I was a teen, man, every time I see a shooting star, I was like, estrellita, estrellita, asking me, my mom, vuelva. Hey, shooting star, make my mom coming back to me, right? And when she finally did it, right? Man, that was painful. Resilience number 1, right? That's what I heard. And that's what I learned, right? Everything in life happens for a reason. The time for me to happen, right? I was right in the right spot for me to have that experience with her because I was able to survive. Because during my teenager age, I got a lot of dark areas where actually my body started getting weak. I was getting harassed by people. I was getting, just put it on the floor by people with money, all that kind of stuff. People that always step on me, right? But I always say, no, I'm going to be somebody one day, right? So here we are in Bakersfield. My guy picked me up. By then I got two members of my family, from my Panamanian family, living in Puerto Rico. So I call my sister, hey, this is what's going on. She's like, don't worry, I got to buy you the flight ticket. All right, she buy me the flight ticket. But remember, Michelle keep all my passports, all my documents.
Yeah.
1994. I got 0 documents. The only thing I have is the ID card for the University of Panama. So here I am. I show up in LA the night before about, my boy dropped me off down there about 9 o'clock in the night. My flight was 7 o'clock in the morning. My friends on the way out, they give me a guitar. And they give me like a jacket at the start, like, come on, man, you have to look good at the airport. You broke, but we got to screw you away, man, all kind of stuff. I was like, cool. So I slept on the bench in the airport, wake up in the morning with my guitar and my jacket, And I showed down there, like, I talked to the lady, like, hey, here's my notification. She's like, what is this? Like, you see that bench down there? I slept down there last night. Somebody stole my wallet. And this is the only thing I got right now. She's like, where you got this one? Where you going? It's like, I'm going to Puerto Rico. But automatically, I start changing like, ay, bendito. I sent my accent to Puerto Rican. And I went like, hey, can you say carro? No, I say carro. I cannot say carro. I say carro. So I sent my accent to Puerto Rican and explained that lady my sad story that was sitting on my guitar. Somebody stole it. It's like, the university in Panama are cheaper than Puerto Rico. You got brothers or sisters, you don't have to send it down there. I told you what. Just like, you know what? Here's your ticket. Have a blessed day. She gave me that ticket, bro. She gave me
That
the
shit
ticket.
would not happen right now.
Not today,
You would be
man.
back in an ICE detention center.
Not today, man. Not today.
A Panamanian that's been a Mexican, now a Puerto Rican.
Bro, now I am in the flight and I land in Puerto Rico, right? I open, I walk in, but the first thing I said, bienvenido a Puerto Rico, customs. Now I got to go to customs again, right? But, Puerto Rico is always about tourism, right? Tourists, all kind of stuff, right? When I was in California, the only English I knew was, good morning, and that's it. And I spell it the way I say it, good morning, just like that, right? So I showed down there, and these people from Puerto Rico, right? They give stickers to everybody, like, oh, welcome to Puerto Rico tourism, man. I got the sticker and stuff, put it in the guitar. But yeah, stop putting it, celebrate. And then I got to go to customs. It's like, are you coming here for tourists? Like, oh, yes, sir. Señorita, cerveza, my guitar, música. Whoa. The guys just started laughing, man. It's like, hey, here we go. You can pass. So they thought that I was the American coming to Puerto Rico to have a good time.
Nice.
My sister's on the other side, like, we got to go before these guys figure it out. Oh, and that's how I made it to Puerto Rico, where I actually joined the army in Puerto Rico in 1998. I was 27. Yeah, I was 27. I got married down there the first time, actually with the mother of my kids right now. Sadly, after 9 years of married, we got divorced. But I met her over there, overseas, and in Puerto Rico. I started working as a janitor. Once again, man, I got to go through the struggle. Like, you're an immigrant. People are taking advantage of me, all that kind of stuff. Finally, I got the famous green card, with this guy, dude. Let's go for the first job. First job is security. So I did that. I joined the army as an infantry. 0 English, right? So what they sent me? DLI. So I went to Texas to the little escuelita, right? The DLI Institute, right? To the Defense Language Institute, and there for 3 months. And then after that, I went to basic training. Basic training, man, for me was a joke because I grew up in the jungle.
Yeah.
Man, I was in my foxhole, digging the hole under the rain. I was like, man, I got mosquitoes, rain, food, and I'm getting paid? This is awesome, man. I used to do all this for free. Minus the food, So I was like, oh, man, that's crazy. Sent me to NTC. And NTC, that's when I went, as an infantry, I went to my selection for Special Forces, right? I did it in 2000. When I finished, it's like, hey, great, you do that, but you cannot go to key course because you know our citizen. You're just resident. you had to wait for your citizenship. I was like, oh
Shit,
my
yeah.
God. Yeah. So by then it's like my time to release men come, right? By then I made it all the way to Solo of the Year in freaking in NTC. And I laughed because I remember my boys always used to say, like, man, you winning all the Solo boards. You know why? Why? They don't understand what you say, but you sound some confidence. They say, yep, that sounds right.
Con fuerza.
Yeah, man, you know. But then, by then I was like, man, if I am an infantry guy, for some reason I get hurt, what can I be? A police guy, security guard? So I switched MOS and I become helicopter mechanic. So I
Shit.
was
I didn't know
helicopter
that.
mechanic. Yeah. Yeah. I was a helicopter mechanic. And my commander, my commander first was like, hey, check this out. You stay as an infantry, I'll give you ranger school, 1 year college. You know, I was like, no, sir, I want to share my MOS. It's like, all right, they send me to Korea. So I went straight to Korea, bro, as a helicopter mechanic. In Korea, I was in a small airfield, but they find out that actually I was selected for special forces. So they put me pretty much in charge of the base defense type of deal, teaching all the soldiers, all that kind of stuff. Finally, my citizenship show up. And then I called here, right? Like, hey, I got my citizenship. I did my selection. And of course, we're talking about, I did my selection in 2000. This one was 2002. What they say, oh, we don't have any records for you. Well, guess what? A old vet always told me, back then we used to have paper. Hey, get a copy of everything. So guess what? I was like, hey, no problem, man. I got my documents. I send it to you via FedEx. I send it to them via FedEx. And they're like, yeah, you're good to go to the Q course. And that's why I made to the Q course, brother.
Damn.
And finally, I made it to the 7 group in 2004. That's when I came to 7 group in 2004. I started as the 18 Echo communication sergeant over there.
And how old were you by that point?
By that point, in 2004, I was already 33.
33. Damn. Fuck. That
Yeah, I was
just
already
that.
30.
Just you already had a damn good career in the military. I mean, if you would have just stayed doing what you were doing, like, that's a good enough career. But man, the perseverance to keep going, dude, like that takes guts. That takes
I tell you,
fucking
man,
guts,
that takes
man.
God. And actually, when I learned the brotherhood, the brotherhood opened the world to me to a lot of environments that I never experienced. And because I did not grow up in this culture, a lot of stuff was new. And let's be honest, I got submerged in a lot of stuff that was not the right thing. And I did a little messed up in 2010. In 2010, I did something bad. General rule number 1 overseas, Afghanistan type of deal. So it's like, hey, sorry, you did this, so you have to keep in the shadows for a while. So I was in the shadows since 2010, almost until 2012. During that period, they gave me the opportunity to work in the basement. You remember the basement is very good. Everything that happens down there, right?
Yeah.
And that's when I become a guru in level 3 operations.
Yeah.
I started becoming in that, and actually I was instructor for broken axle for the level 2. I developed the broken axle in Florida. Yeah, I developed the broken axle in Florida. When we moved from here, from Fort Bragg to Florida, I was the one actually created the broken axle over there.
Dude, that's a testament to what you can do when a lot of guys, look, nobody's perfect. You will at some point in your career get in trouble or sideline, and God forbid, you have a perfect career wherever you go, perfect life. But more often than not, you're gonna have a pitfall. You're gonna have something. You're gonna stumble, and you can do two things. You can lean into it and make the most of the situation and fight through it, or you can give up. And dude, it sounds like you didn't give up and you started working through it, because when I went through that course, it was probably one of the best courses. It was hard. It's supposed to be hard, but it was well friggin' developed, man. It was well developed. So kudos to you for fighting through that, because it's not easy, man. It's not an easy tasking to sit down and say, it's easier to give up. It really is. It's easier just to give up.
I know, man. I know. And I'll tell you, it's
This episode is brought to you by Titan SARMs. Head on over to titansarms.com and buy a stack today. Use my code CDenny10 to get your first stack. I recommend the Lean Stack 2. Start living your best life. Titan SARMs. No junk, no bullshit, just results.
old friend of mine, Simon Aguayo, he always told me, like, hey, I never met somebody with so much resilience like you. The way you always bounce back. Because I tell you, man, I just like you say, man, sometimes it's hard for the guys and it's easy to take the dark path or make the wrong decision. I went on my knees. Looking back, nobody was around because that's the brotherhood is the best brotherhood ever. When the same times, man, when the things get rough and you fuck up, you got to be isolated. You got to learn your lesson. And isolation was the worst thing that couldn't get for the brotherhood back then. And it hurts. It hurts, because I know I isolate some people at the same time. So I got isolated back. So I learned my lessons and I learned my lessons. But then I learned how to come back from that. Right.
Yeah.
Then I come back from that. Actually, I went to some other stages in my career, right? That actually put me in challenge again, but always winning, always on the top, right? So I came here to use us. And I use us out, then I put myself isolated for the 7, right? But the beauty of that is I learned how to become more professional, right? I still E7 by then. I still working as an instructor related for course. I did some titles sometimes as an NCUIC. In my career as an E7, I was team sergeant as well. I was assigned first class and I acting assignment as well.
Oh, damn.
By the time the EA list came out, I was already in the process to med board. So my med board process started in 2019. I came in the list in 2020 for the EA because I was like, man, if I make sergeant major coming all the way, this kid that came all the way from the jungle, coming eating rice and tuna, right? Go to the leg, right? Become sergeant major of the special forces, like, man, that's awesome, right? But at the same time, I was like, man, everything happens in life for a reason. Maybe if I become a team sergeant or become sergeant major, maybe I'll be dead by now.
Yeah.
Plus, at the same time, everything that I learned, man, I saw many cases similar to me. I was like, come on, brother, no, let me talk to you. Let me tell you what you need. Let me tell you the words that you're looking for. Because I was not there when I was looking up and nobody was there. But I know what I was looking for. So I learned to be that individual. When I see people behaviors and I see demeanor, so I was like, come on, man, what happened in your house? What's going on? Okay. Why are you acting like this? That's not you. What's going on? Trying to make the people talk, right? And I tell you, man, that's a great feeling for me. At the end, I got med board. I got 100% disability. I got a permanent lung damage. That lung damage take me to the hospital about 2-3 times per year. Right. The last time I was in the hotel having a vacation. I got my problems with the breathing and stuff. I walk out of the lobby. The security cop down there is like, hey, where you going? Like, I'm driving to the hospital. Like, I know you're not going driving. You go to hurt somebody in the road. I was like, why you have to involve some people? Because remember Sierra? When we went to Sierra? Left and right, I don't care. As soon as they bring somebody else, it's like, man, now I have to think about this. So that's exactly what, when he said that, I was like, oh, why you say that? So he called the ambulance. So the ambulance came and picked me up. My O2 was an 87. Yeah, my O2 normally is 92, 93. My O2 levels is always low, always low. So that hit me really hard. We actually spent sometimes like a week in the hospital, cleaning my lungs, getting all the stuff out, and on top of that, TBI, PTSD, you name it, all the good stuff. But I got med board and I did my entire career in Jristos T.J. my last couple of years, also an experience. I remember when I was teaching over there in the 18 Fox course, because that's what I was working in the intelligence, because I remember the intelligence almost for 14 years now. That including degree in Homeland Security and level 3 certification in Homeland Security as well. And I remember one of my boys like, hey, how we can do all this stuff in a regular computer? It's like, I don't know. Then finally, I get involved public available information research. That's what I work in these days. Still supporting the force, right? I got my Leo LLC. They actually are going to take advantage of this to promote.
Yeah, dude. Throw it up there.
It's a consultant service. 507 ITP LLC. All right. And then I got the YouTube channel. It's coming out soon. All right. So that's what I did. And of course, I'm a writer in Amazon. Right. So the first book I did was about resilience. How to come struggles over life, type of deal, stuff like that, right?
Let's talk about the book right now, man. Like, let's dive into that, because a lot of people, like, when you start suffering, you tend to think that only I'm the only one suffering through this stuff. I'm the only going through this. Your scope of the world gets really narrow. Your view of everything gets really small, and you're only focused on your own suffering. But if you start opening up that aperture and start thinking about the reality is that this entire life, everybody around you, people are suffering. People are going through shit. You're not the only person that's suffered through this. That can help you gain some new perspective. You can reframe things. And your story is definitely like can help a lot of people going through something. They can realize like, oh shit, like I'm having a pretty bad day, but I didn't start my life off in the jungles of Panama.
I know, man. And like I say, I'm grateful. And because I'm grateful, this email right here. So I don't know, you can see it on there.
Yeah, I'll put
Right.
it on the episode description and we'll put
Yeah.
it up there.
Because sometimes you realize my skills, people that get kidnapped, people that got killed, or criminal activities or whatever. Sometimes I support the law enforcement, doing that kind of stuff. Sometimes I support organizations that doing operations against child pornography or against human trafficking type of stuff. I volunteer a couple hours just for free because I got no other skills. Nobody can hide them these days, and I know how to find things. So I'm trying to use that. I've been blessed. That individuals that found me on LinkedIn, they know the organization I'm working for. Everything that I learned so far, everything that I do, right, I implement in that organization. And all the skills that we learn as a special forces, all the personal life I have from resilience or things that I see in the ground in my real life, man, I apply everything to the organization that I work on it. But I tell you, man, be a special forces for me, even as a E7, my wife, because I remarry again, right? My daughter is going to be 5 in December, and my other daughter is going to be 2 in December. So I start all over. And actually, because I never saw my other kids, I always was deployed. Always deployed. Now I got the opportunity to actually see this one's growing up to the deal, and that's a blessing. Well, bottom line, man, coming from me to Panama to have the SF life, and of course, 1 hour, man, is never going to enough to all the details, all the life experience I got, why not? But my wife always told me the only reason you made it all the way to E7 is because that was a decision made from God. Because he put you on the pattern, he put you on the path. How many people you talk, in your path? Actually, when you were instructor and you said, oh, well, let's go. 2 other SF brothers. They were going through struggles and nobody was there. Like, yeah, several then because I was able to talk to people. Right? It's like, well, that's the reason. So just feel awesome and look all the way how you made it all the way from the jungle in Panama. All right. Living in the countryside, right? All the way to who you are right now. You have to be proud of it, right? And I remember for first time in my life, I took my son, 50 years old, I took it to Panama. And I saw where my mom lived on these days because I've been trying to put my mom out of that house. And I remember I told her, Mama, here's the money. We go to movie out. And she's slapping in the face, right? My mom, like the mom that raised me, she's only 5'1". I'm 6'6", right? And she's like, come here. What? It's like, what? Your dad built this house. I don't care how ugly it is. I don't care if it's coming apart. I will die in this house because your dad built it. It's like, what can I say about that? So I give it a reason for that. So I took my boy down there and I took everything in my environment. He's like, holy cow, Dad. I mean, you got your house, you got 4 cars now, all this stuff. But you beginning, man, you were humble. Like, yeah. And you see this family here, they don't even relate it to you. They're not even blood, but they will die for you because you're family. Why? Because they raised you and you are family. And you need to understand family is not only about blood. Family is about the love and how to take care of other each other. It's the same in SF brotherhood, man. The really brotherhood, man, they take care of the each other, in the good times and the bad times, man. And when you see somebody, man, that's going down, don't let that brother down, man. Because guarantee when he starts fucking up, it's because something is wrong in his life. He's asking for help, but he don't know how to do it. And that's when you, as a good brothers, need to approach and find the specific words to tell them. Like, hey, come on, man. What the fuck? That's not you. Get out from there. Come back online, right? You're losing your fucking path, right? But, as a human beings, man, sometimes we feel good about ourselves when somebody's in a bad situation.
Yeah. This episode is also brought to you by Precision Wellness Group. Getting your hormones optimized shouldn't be a difficult task, and Dr. Taylor Bosley has changed the game. Head on over to precisionwellnessgroup.com, enroll, and become a patient today.
not so much us, but people normally always they criticize the bad things and others, so they can feel good about themselves, right? Like, oh yeah,
Yeah, man.
this, and that kind of stuff. I remember after 10 years, finally I went back to Panama after I became a military. I went to my barrio, took my friends, beer for everybody, food for everybody. I just started spending money with everybody. And I sit with my two friends. We actually were still friends. We've been friends for 45 years. And we still contact and WhatsApp, all that kind of stuff. Every day, good morning, ¿cómo estás? Buenos días, blah, blah, all that stuff. We still there. I was sitting down and they told me, hey, do you remember when we sitting in the bus station, when the Just Cop happened, and you told us that one day you wish to be one of those? Look at you. And I remember, man, when they told me that stuff, I realized that it was heavy. That was good. I mean, that was big for me because I made it. And they told me straight up, look what you're doing. You're capable to do the same stuff they do for us here in many other countries. You went to war. You went to so many other countries. You did it. And that's when I realized, like, holy cow, I never catch on today, talking back to me after 10 years, man. And after 10 years, all the people, they always push me, put the foot on my throat and push me in the ground. Man, I ran the best SUV. I got my mom and the best restaurants, supermarkets and stuff. And I was walking with my head high, man. All these individuals, they were really bad situations. But even then, I don't even smile. I don't even feel happy for that situation. I was feel sorry for that situation, because that's the way I was raised, poor man, but we go hard. And like I say, I am not perfect. A lot of brothers know I did a lot of mistakes, but a lot of the mistake was not my fault. But in the end, man, I always push forward to become resilient and be the best of me. And I'm still doing as of today.
Yeah.
Trying to do the best I can.
That's the greatest thing we can do, really. Continue to pay it forward, continue to help people out. And man, like I want to go back and reflect on that young man on that bus stop, like sitting there looking at those soldiers and saying, I'm going to do that. A lot of people look at the impossible and they look at their dreams and they say, well, that's impossible. I can't do that. I'm like, is it really? Or are you just telling yourself that you can't do that? Can you do it? Or are you just telling yourself you can't? It's more often than not, if you dedicate yourself to what you really want in life, you can go after and you can achieve it, man. Like the fact that we're here talking, having this moment, this small moment of reflection on the life well lived, on a dream that was through hard work became a reality. Like proof's in the pudding. Like all of us have the same amount of ability. I really believe that. Yeah, sometimes a little bit of luck helps, but more often than not, hard work and determination will get you there. Like being able to reflect on that journey today, man, looking back, like taking this moment to be here, like, do you still find yourself waking up and saying, holy shit, like fucking made it?
Yes, it is, man. I would say in the same time, it's blessing. And I want to talk another time about two anecdotes really quick. And I think you were in Afghanistan with me. Do you ever heard the story about me being at the top of the HME?
No.
That was the same rotation when we went to Afghanistan. So we in Afghanistan, and this pickup truck with the NA, they blew up, right? So by then I had 18 Fox doing SSC. So I went to the truck, getting, go to my mind, all the 18 Charlie, right? I'm explosives expert, give me all the training type of stuff. So I went down there, okay, what is the energy? Let me take the batteries out, pressure plate out, stuff like that. So I start collecting stuff. I am under the vehicle, right? Just pick it out the stuff. I got the cable, put the cable, and the cable is stuck. I was like, what the fuck? Then I follow the cable. I was landslide. There were two $5 on HME. One went off, and the other one is just under my chest.
Shit.
So this is me with the cable on the second HME right there. It's like, woo, all right. Like, well, I'm ready here. Let's take care of this. So I called my IT, Charlie Castillo. I was like, hey, give me some block of C4, man. So he gave me the C4. I put the C4 down there and prepare everything. And I was like, oh my God, this is the time, And then I walked out of there and we blew it up, right? I remember by then my son, Major Tyson, was like, what the hell you were thinking? Remember cross training, man? You need to trust your skills. Right? All the time. Do you remember Kalmaholic? The mountain at the back? I used to climb that one, solo climbing the face without no rope. I did it 3 times during a war,
just for shits and gigs.
Things that. And then the other day was one day, I'm in my house drinking a hot tea. Got my baby here in the rocking chair, just drinking my tea. I open my eyes, the cup is already on the floor, hot tea all over me, and I no longer got a baby. My wife is in the corner with the baby. I was like, so what she explained was, I drink the tea and I start coughing. But remember, I got the lung problems, right?
Yeah.
So my breath cut off, so I couldn't breathe. And she said she saw my eyes going back, right? And then the white phone started coming out of my mouth. And she didn't know what to do. The first thing she did, she grabbed the baby, she grabbed him by the shoulder, and she pushed my body forward. When she put my body forward, everything that was here just came up, and then I just catch my breath again. If it were for there, man, that would be actually my time. And like I say, these love conditions sometimes can be good, sometimes can be bad. But the thing is, all these events that happen, right? And I still here, it's because something happened. Man, it's a reason. So I had to be grateful. I had to be grateful the way I did, right? I was in X country, myself, my other 3 top of the team. They pull us out of the vehicle, heads and guns in the head. What I did, I changed my accent to Colombia like crazy, really fast. Tranquilo, parce. Nos equivocamos, parce. Tranquilo. Vamos a brindar con el aguardiente. Anyways, I flew away from that, but I mean, we got so many anecdotes, so many stories, right? So many things that happens to us, right? To you, to all this brothers, and things like that. We are here for a reason. Look at you, you talk about me doing stuff, but look at you. You are a door, you're a window for all these other individuals, right? And not only the guys, but the girls too, men and women, right? That serve in the military, to have the opportunity, right? To present the stories and stuff like that. You are a tool as well, right? To help others, right? And we got the skills, man. The only thing we cannot do is die without using our skills to help others.
Yes.
Right? We cannot do that. We cannot do that. And I refuse to do that. I refuse to do that. My wife told me, hey, one of these days you're going to get killed. Here in my office where I work now, we got the famous sword story. This is T.J. go with my wife to the store in the parking lot. And this homeless guy got a lady, this general manager of the store by the neck against the wall. I was like, hey, what are you doing? And then by then we go to a lot of racial stuff in America. So the guy turned around, what you want, white boy? He went to the back and he put a big knife. I was like, I'll be back. I went to the car, but I forgot to have my toy. So I was like, but I went to Honduras in the past and I got a harmonic, the wood, the handle of the axle, Metro Caoba, solid wood, man. I was like, all right, this is all I got. When I went down there, the guy had the knife and he pulled a piece of pipe, right? And he started throwing, man. And this is me and him just blocking it. And you can see my wife is screaming, don't kill the guy, don't kill the guy. So I was like, come on. So I want to bring the guy out of the store because was a lot of people walking. So I want to take it to the parking lot, right? So he followed me and threw in. I was like, I want to several times, man, like, I got it in the neck, I got it in the knees, but I was like, I don't want to hit because in the same times, we got a lot of veterans. Believe it or not, I recognize him because the clothes he was wearing, all right? And the tattoos that he has. He actually had got previous service, right? And sometimes, man, bad luck. Not everybody got, the support that you require, right? Man, I got there and I remember this lady start recording, right? And she's like, look at this white guy trying to break the neck of this poor black homeless, white turn around. Lady, he's not even white, he's brown. What are you talking about? I was like, oh my God, man.
Wait, they're both minorities? We don't care. Keep going.
Well, man, I got love for everybody. I was raised with everybody love, man. It's just like, by the end, the cops show, I'll take care of this, that. But that's the thing, man. Like, I don't know. We have, I think, in the brotherhood, we always got that switch. Sometimes, after I retire, I got it off. But when it happens, man, it happens so fast. We know because we made the oath to protect, to press liver, right? We make that oath, and that oath is to us to the core, man. And sometimes without notice it, we react because somebody needed help. But in the end, man, I'm being blessed down here today, man. God, thanks for this opportunity. I mean, like I said,
it's my pleasure and my honor, brother. You're somebody that is well known, well respected within the brotherhood, and I mean, you're the only Panamanian that I know that's like 6'7". You're the only Panamanian. You should be playing for the National Panamanian fucking basketball league. So many different, you missed opportunities, man. But it's truly a pleasure, man. Guys like yourself, like you have a huge impact on younger Green Berets that met you along their way. Guys like Aguayo, another great Green Beret that, again, very influential on so many careers. And
Yeah, great
if you're
mentor. Yeah.
lucky, you get to meet TJ once or twice, and it leaves an impact. And guys like you are all throughout the regiment, and I hope to have as many as possible on this show to share their journeys, man, because your story needs to be told. It needs to be told in a book. It needs to be told in a friggin' movie. Like, people, they it's not luck. It's not just blind luck or sheer, like, divine powers intervene in your life. And your testament and your story shows everybody, like, man, like, somebody's watching out for us. Like, somebody's out there guiding us along our journey, because we don't get here on our own, man. So I certainly hope that we can someday see your story on the TV screens on Netflix or a Hollywood movie, because, man, like, as a proud Panamanian, it's amazing to see somebody's life. There's so many parallels, dude. So many great things that I can say, like, oh shit, like, I can continue going and I can continue reaching, because if TJ didn't quit, then I'm not gonna quit. And I certainly hope that people listening at home, like, if you take anything away from this story, please take away that you should always be willing to dream. You should always be willing to bet on yourself. It's not easy to get through airport security, but TJ made it several fucking times. It's not easy to make it through your dreams when you're fucking in Korea as a helicopter mechanic and they say, hey, like, you're gonna have to go through selection. But you know what? I have my paperwork. So no, we're not doing that again. I can't thank you enough for being here. One more time, where can people go for your book? Show us all your links real quick, and I'll put them on the episode description.
Yeah. So right now, this is my pen name.
JD to John Wolf.
John Wolf.
And what books do you have published on Amazon?
So right now, I put some of the books out already, but some of the ones I got right now is related to AI. Working in another two. One of those, of course, is placed in my bio. I just trying to find some guidance, some help how to do the bio book currently, just similar to this with the story I'm working on, type of stuff. But I got more publications coming out in that aspect. The other one, of course, like I said, my consultant services. I do right now the consultant services for the Latino community, helping businesses to identify the vulnerabilities, TVA stuff, right? Using the 507 and stuff. Like I say, people that want to help every time when I help the police, that's my email, right? Which actually means protecting the oppressed, right? So that's exactly what we do. We're still doing it, right? So I try to help with that kind of stuff. Another one story, man, I want to let you go is, so here at the office, they know my story, right? And they know I got the loan problems or whatever. And they tell me, they always like, hey, TJ, one day we come here, you dead. We find your body dead and that, and that, and that freaking, and that table right there. And they share whatever. We go to grab your butt. We go to put you your AR-15 and a pistol. We go to take you to the little barrio, what is it, all the gas and stuff like that. We go to drop your body down there, throw a couple bullets in the air. Somebody think that you die like fighting, right? Not like I just watching a computer screen and you just got a heart attack or something. That's not the way for you to go. I was like, fair enough. Thank you so much.
It's a good friends.
Yeah, man. Because I always talk to my wife, and my wife support me. My wife, man, she's been a great support in my life. We've been together for 10 years, right?
Nice.
Up and down. She actually retired this year as well.
Wow,
100%
congrats
as
to her.
well. Yeah, 100% as well. She's supporting me. The idea, I'm going to have a nonprofit organization for veterans next year. I got another veterans. I am part of the FMP Foreign Medical Program, right? And that one is in Dominican Republic. If you don't know about it, just follow me on LinkedIn and ask for LinkedIn, find me more information about it. And like I said, it's a great program. Just imagine, man, they did my head to toe in 1 week. X-rays, MRIs.
Yeah. I got a buddy down there that he helps veterans get down there and live abroad. The VA system in DR is phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Yes.
It's like
yes,
the videos, the pictures. I mean, I don't understand how it's not the same here. You want to live in paradise? You want to have a great VA? Go to DR.
Right. I still have my 4 appointments per month on my cell phone. I got my psychologist, I got my neurologist, I got my personal doctor or not. They were the one time there that actually, because when I retired, they put me 0 PTSD in my retirement. So when I went down there, it's like, oh man, you are, they dig all the way to my childhood, my
Nice.
military career and everything. And yes, they understand that we got issues, right? We everything that we do in life. Because me and you, we can talk about the most terrible things that can happen in war. And for us, that's not a conversation. Well, it's not. We out of place. But we are in an environment that make it look like in the perfect place, but it's not. Anyways, they help me with that. It's just, like I say, more to come from TJ in the future, helping the veterans. And we push into that as well.
Absolutely, man. Anytime you want to come back and share something new with the audience, please let me know. You got a place here. Guys,
Yeah, let's see how this one goes, man. If a lot of people like your show and everything, I come back, man. Just to talk more
I don't
stories
care if
about
they don't like it. I liked it.
I will tell stories about rice and beans and snakes, man.
Oh, hell yeah. Guys, if you do me a favor, hit the pause on the episode. It's almost over, so just hit pause. Go to the episode description. Click those links. Head on over to LinkedIn. You'll see a link in the bio, in the description for TJ. Hit him up. Let him know what you think of the episode. If you want to connect with him, freaking reach out. He's a real dude. I happen to be a big fan of him, not only because he's Panamanian, but he's also a great individual, did great things for me as a young Green Beret. So please hit him up. Thank you all for tuning in. TJ, thank you for being here. We'll see you all next time. Till then,
thank you. My pleasure. God bless you, brother.
Security Halt Podcast is proudly sponsored by Titans Arms. Head to the episode description and check out Titans Arms today.